It's
silky
like
smooth.
it's like that radio station I've been waiting all day to get to. Long day at work.
96.5, the vibes.
Look, long day at work. I just me and me and the car and the night and that smooth voice over the radio, man. That's it.
Who are you talking about? You're the one that sounds silky smooth.
Talking about you, man. You sounded silky smooth today.
Wow.
Seriously,
Man,
you know.
that's it's got to be the professional mic or something, man. Is that
It's
what
the
it is?
mic and maybe it's just life, man. Maybe things that you've gone through are just transforming your voice. Maybe that's part of the purpose of them.
Or
Make
it
your
might be
voice.
early in the morning.
No, I think it's just to make your voice silky smooth, man.
It's
Yeah,
the,
all of that.
that's the secret of those shows. They're all pre-recorded at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Well, this is true. This is true. That is something to that. But what was I gonna say, man? I was just saying something. Oh, is it a new mic? Do you have a new mic?
No,
Oh, okay. Well,
do
yeah,
you?
man. Oh.
No? Huh.
I'm a little. I'm getting over being hoarse the last couple days. So yesterday I wasn't hoarse. So
Uh,
that's yeah. If I sound a little different, it's because of that. But to your point, some of the most famous broadcasters or commentators in history did things to make their voice a little bit raspier, a little deeper. Like,
really?
yeah, there was this one person, I don't remember their name, but you would know them if I could think of it. Uh,
Howard Cosell,
no, not Hal Cosell, but this person
Stuart
smoked
Scott.
cigarettes. No, not Stuart Scott. Smoked cigarettes purposely because of how it made their
Hmm.
voice.
Yeah,
It was great for radio.
yeah.
So,
Well, at least he's got a face for radio, whoever that was.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank God for podcasts now. You got the audio and the
That's right.
video
You,
for a
you
lot
get
of
your
people.
choices. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Some
Yeah.
it's I like the part where some people are like, "Hey, if you're listening to this, you need to go back. You need to go and watch this because this is, you know,
Exactly.
because you
And
can't
it
see." Yeah,
yeah, and if you don't like me when you're listening that much, you may love me when you're watching me and listening. Who knows?
that's right. Especially with that voice. Good Lord,
That's right, man.
the
Man,
ladies are just like, "Wow, who
man,
is that guy?"
you look good though, man. You look out of a movie
See,
or
this is
something,
where
man.
everybody should be looking to the podcast video of it and just look like and see
Yeah.
the
Like,
smirk on
wait,
my
I need to
face. When you
see. No, I need to see this good looking guy he's talking about. That's what they need to see.
no, no.
Oh man. I think it's the lighting though. You got really good lighting right now. It's good for you.
Well, that's because we're currently in a different area, so
Okay. It's good
not in the
lighting.
garage. We're
Good.
actually in the bedroom.
Oh wow. Wow. Was a
The wife
meeting
and the
invite.
kids are in Indiana.
Ah, got you. So you're broadcasting live out of the bedroom. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did she go did dad go? Did the whole family kind of go to Indiana?
Arlene went. Yeah,
Okay,
Arlene.
okay,
Bob
okay,
stayed back.
okay.
So yeah. So that's why I was
Gotcha.
like, "Hey, you want to try to do something tomorrow?" Because I knew I was like, well, I'm not have to worry about waking anybody up.
Well, hey, we gotta take those opportunities when we get them. So I'm glad you did.
It's been a while.
Glad you did. It has been a while, man. I beg to say, it's probably been about 6 months,
I,
which,
I I'll go back to the timestamp. This probably sounds about right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because really, talk about 6 months. We're only talking about like April or so, and well, April or May. Yeah, May. And I don't think we've done anything since then. I mean,
No,
when
I
you
don't think so.
when you put it in terms of the months, no, because you did Math Academy. You came to Math Academy in June,
Oh
And
wow, it was that long ago?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Math Academy was June, and I'm pretty sure we didn't do anything because we would have talked about Math Academy on the episode, and I'm pretty sure we hadn't brought that up.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
This year I have done a lot more quote unquote public speaking engagements.
yeah,
Here recently, I was talking at New Home and just talking about home buying and that process and what that looks like. It was interesting because it was the first time getting a realtor involved and someone that uh, talks about credit repair. We really didn't have like a guideline, so to speak. So the bulk of it was me talking and then just kind of pitching it to each one from side to side. And that's why I'm very thankful being more introverted than most people that doing this and leading small groups got me to the place where I'm a little bit more comfortable with getting up in front. Because if you knew me back in high school, seeing me get in front of people and talk, you would have been like, "No, that man ain't talking to nobody." I was so quick to get as soon as I made my little spiel about the cross country team has a race this Saturday. I got off that thing as quickly as possible. I did not. I was so nervous every time.
wow. So, bro, they had y'all make an announcement if you were part of a team. You had to announce like what was coming up.
Yeah, yeah. This was like the cross country team had just kind of formed back when I was in seventh grade, I think. So seventh or eighth grade. So about five. It's about I think it was my junior or senior year. That's when the coach was like, "Yeah, you need to go up there, and tell them about the events that are coming up." And I guess I wish I could remember it exactly, but I can't. You would think I could. I would blame it on doing things I shouldn't be doing as to why I can't remember, but that's not the case. I just don't remember because it was just so long ago now.
How
So, but
good were
yeah,
you? How good were you
running.
cross country? Yeah.
I used to run sub 6 miles.
Oh, that's pretty good, man. Wow.
5K. I was 21 minutes.
Okay.
My dad, from what my dad told me, I used to be so decent at it that there were actually college recruiters looking at me
Yeah, I
at
was
one point in
wondering
time.
about that. That's kind of what I was thinking about. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. But it's one of those things. I wanted to play basketball, but I wasn't good enough to play basketball. And
Yeah.
my parents knew I had to do a sport or I would be just sitting in my room playing video games all day, and they didn't want that. So that's why I don't know how cross country became. I don't
And,
even
and,
know how I
and,
got
and
started
and why do you think you didn't pursue maybe a scholarship with cross country? You
because I'm
really
dumb.
okay? I got you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my heart was never really in it. I mean, I even
Yeah.
went to a cross country camp out at Mississippi State.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
it's weird.
Well, we do those dumb things. But it's funny, but it's like a lot of people who have a lot of success. When you think about it, I mean, especially in athletics, they're really the anomaly because for every one that makes it, there's like
Oh,
10 that could
thousand.
have made it.
Yeah,
So it's just like because I think about myself with baseball. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not kidding. I was a really, really good baseball player, and to the point, I mean, when I was going to high school, my coach said, "Hey, man, and this was a place that I only played in this league 1 year, and I had been playing in other leagues, but I played 1 year, and this coach saw me. My coach, he said, "Man, I really, really think you could go somewhere with the baseball thing." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," but I too wanted to play basketball. Man, I tell you, basketball is a big distraction, the stealer of many dreams. But anyway, so I said, no, I don't want to play baseball. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm already good at baseball. Been there, done that. And tried
Do you
to
think it
play
was the
basketball.
Michael Jordan effect?
No, I think for me, if we're honest, it was probably more of the Allen Iverson effect at the time for me.
Yeah,
but it was all of basketball movies. You know, Heaven Was a Playground,
Yeah.
Hoop
Hoop
Dreams.
dreams. Yes.
Oh my, one of my favorite, Above
Above
the
the rim.
Rim. Yeah, man. So
Yes.
it was all of that, and so we all had these hoop dreams. But
Soul in the
anyway,
hole.
Soul in the Hole.
Yep.
Yeah,
He got
yeah.
game. He
He
got
got
game.
game. Look, man, we could go all
Ooh.
day. What was the Kevin Bacon one? The
Oh
air up there,
yeah.
the
Air
air
up
up
there.
there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just stop. They go on forever.
Oh no, no, no,
Clearly,
no. Blue chips. Blue
blue
chips.
chips, blue chips.
Yeah.
All
Ooh.
right, let's stop. So, so look, and here's the thing. I was actually pretty good in basketball, but I didn't have the confidence, and so that was always going to be a deterrent for me unless I developed that. But I really didn't have the opportunity because high school competitive basketball, even in tryouts, I needed some kind of confidence. And I remember my freshman year, I got out there, and I mean, I'm sure I was pretty decent even without confidence because people said, "Hey, man, you really good, this and that." Didn't make the team. Came back sophomore year, made uh made the first cut, came to practice. It was 13 of us. 12 of us were gonna be on the team, which is so crazy because I was better than more than half of those people. But I couldn't do something called a three-man weave. It's super simple for me today, but clearly that day it just wasn't in my destiny. And it was just a drill. Nothing about like
Yeah.
real basketball skill, just one simple drill. Couldn't do it. Twisted my ankle, so I couldn't
Oh.
practice. The head coach wasn't there who knew me. Assistant coach was there. He called me in the office. I probably could have pleaded to stay and get another opportunity, but I was
Yeah.
so humiliated. I finished his sentence before he could, and I said, "Yeah, I'm not doing. I'm gone." And I never did it. And matter of
Wow.
fact, I was so good though, because my my peers knew it. They all thought I quit, and they pretty much turned on me. And I didn't want. I was too humiliated to let them know I was cut, so I let them think I quit. And that served to put a wedge between me and them, and I never went back to basketball
Wow.
again. Really a sad story, but anyway,
That
and
is
of
a sad
course,
story,
it's a
man.
sad story, and didn't really start pursuing baseball until after that point. Which, if you know anything about baseball, is all hand eye
Eye
coordination.
coordination.
Every year counts. You take off a year in baseball in those developmental years, it's hard to get your mechanics back like you have it. And so I pick it up like mid sophomore year or so. But it's like the well, no, end of the season. So I'm in like one game, two games. So that year doesn't even count. So really, I'm not playing baseball until like my junior year. It's really too late. I'm 2 years, 2.5 years off. I come in and I'm still decent, but now also what's working against me is I've lost that passion that I had.
Man.
I didn't have that, and so I didn't practice. Between actual practices, I didn't do anything on my own. Didn't have that passion, and really just kind of fizzled out on me. I didn't even play my senior year, man. So
Wow.
it was just a wash, man. And then my college didn't even have a baseball team in case I wanted to give it another shot and try. But it's just crazy because I really regret it. And that's why I don't watch Major League Baseball to this day because I do feel
Wow.
like I could have played. Because I mean, you don't have to. Although the average baseball player is like 5'11", 6 feet, you got a lot of guys that are 5'8", my height that still play baseball that in the majors, and I really believe I could have done it, and it's just hard for me to watch, so I don't enjoy it to be honest. Yeah.
Thinking about baseball, who would have thought that Otani would have led the Dodgers to like two World Series now? That's just insane that he's like not only just a phenomenal pitcher, but he can blast the thing into I mean just knock all kinds of home runs and stuff like that. I don't follow baseball, hardly ever watch basketball anymore. And so, I hope the kids will um at least I don't not even really, if they want to play a sport, great. But if they watch sports, that's great. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
weird.
yeah, it is, man. And the cool thing is, you probably already started seeing it with your oldest, but very soon you're gonna see, especially if you're looking for it, you're gonna see pretty much what they're gonna be or some semblance.
Hmm.
Like my oldest two, I know, Shy, who's 10, she's likely gonna be a fashion designer, man.
Uh-huh.
She's fantastic. She's super smart. She's big on fashion, putting things together. That's something she's always been passionate about. She's a fashion designer. My middle daughter, Ariel, who's 8, she's going to be, she's super fast, by the way. But I believe she's gonna do some athletics, like run track and things, but I really believe she's gonna be like a baker and a dietitian, a nutritionist
Uh-huh.
for athletes because she loves to bake. She's always asking about baking competitions and these
Really?
things. So yeah, so I just it's a reminder because as parents we have to cultivate these things. So we have to do our due diligence. But yeah, they've already shown us what they want to do. We picked up on that. And
What age does that really start to show itself, do you think?
I honestly say, that's why I say it's coming soon for you. Probably 4 or 5 is the
Hmm.
beginning. Yeah, 4 or 5. You can
Their
start seeing little
personalities are
pieces.
pretty developed and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and their
yeah.
abilities. Yeah, I can
So
see.
you
Okay.
start seeing these little patterns, just little things that it starts off with the little things that they do and how they, just what they gravitate to and incline. And then by the 7 and 8, I probably say they start making it known. Well, yeah, 6 and 7, you can start. They verbalize some things, and you really notice. Oh, I've seen this before. You keep doing this. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So
that's
from your thinking, do you think that if the child leans into it, that that's probably where they're going to have the passion for it? Not necessarily be gifted in it, but just have a passion for it, do you think?
oh yeah, completely.
Hmm.
You said talking about where you see those patterns. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I don't think it's just at that age. It's not just influence, I mean, of course, some of it is influence, but a lot of the things that you see that influence them at that age are because I believe that's what they incline to. So like Ariel, she has all her sisters watching baking shows,
Hmm.
which one might from the outside looking in might see that and be like, oh yeah, of course she wants to bake, she's
That's
watching
all
baking
she's
shows
watching.
all the
Yeah.
time. No, but she's watching baking shows because
She
baking is
loves
in
it.
her heart. Yeah, she loves
Yeah.
it. So, because the other girls actually like the show more than her now, but
Right.
like they don't ask to bake all the time. She's like, it's
Right.
like, oh my gosh, okay, like no, no, we can't bake today. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put you in the class because this is ridiculous. This is not fun for me.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, man, I think it's definitely, and the cool thing about it being them being young with that is it is something they're gifted in. Like at
Hmm.
that point, if it's something they're passionate about like that, and so for me, funny we coming back to this, but it was baseball. Ever since I was my mama said really just about out of the womb, but let's say 2, because I
Yeah.
lived in North Carolina with my mom between like 2 and 4. I had to every day coming home from school, I demanded 2 years old, 3 years old, my mom put me in my baseball uniform. This was an everyday thing, never fail.
Uh-huh.
She had to put me in a baseball uniform and take me out to the park and pitch to me. This was every
Oh.
day. Bless her heart for doing it, right? So
Yeah.
this was after work and everything. This was an everyday thing. By the time I was 7, 8, of course I had been playing, all star, that kind of stuff. And I just remember there was a lady and a husband, older couple. They came up to my parents one day because they saw me practicing for all stars, and I guess I don't know if they had maybe they had a grandchild plan and they were from out of town. And so clearly, the grandchild was on one of the like either on my
All
team or another
Star.
team. And
Yeah.
they approached my parents and they asked for my name. And they said because we're going to be looking for him one day in the majors. And people don't just do that. That happened. How about this?
Wow.
That happened in North Carolina when I was a baby in the park. Somebody approached my mom, asked my name because they said he's gonna make it when he's gonna. My grandfather, who's had an eye for these things, my grandfather was the first black police chief and fire chief in Roosevelt City,
Hmm.
little annex of Birmingham. He did a lot of stuff, man. He was so I just say had a lot of exposure that he really thought that was my calling. He saw my skill. He believed it was my calling. And all of those things I do believe had a lot of truth to them, but it just shows how an individual can get distracted and really so distracted that they lose the fiber of that passion and never do it, man. So for like I
Yeah,
said, for
man.
for
I mean,
everyone, you
that's
got 10.
young. That's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a young age for somebody to say that to you and to speak that over
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
If you had committed to it, we will probably wouldn't be talking to each other right now.
Yeah.
You
Right,
wouldn't you
right.
wouldn't be you wouldn't be telling me the story. You know,
Exactly, exactly.
that's amazing what if we could just see, like, have like a TV or a crystal ball or something and see that sliding door timeline of if you had kind of stuck with it. That
Yeah.
would have been, because you wouldn't be the Derek I know.
No,
Just
no. It's kind of scary though, cause when we all die and we see Jesus, it's kind of scary to think. I mean, it's not gonna be scary because I mean, heaven. So I shouldn't say all of us, but heaven and the rewards. But I feel like oh, we'll have joy and everything. But so I say it tongue in cheek, but it's kind of scary to think of all the opportunities we miss. We've
yeah,
missed all of us, really,
because
when it comes down to it.
they're talking about when you get to heaven, the tears and the crying and stuff. Well, I mean, what if a piece of that is you get to see all the possible timelines based on if you had made this choice differently or that choice differently.
Yeah,
You know,
man. Yeah.
and that other side of, like, you won't be wed when you're in heaven. That's always kind of, I found that always an interesting piece of scripture because, like, I've left my family to get cleaved to my wife, so that means when I get to heaven, I gotta leave my wife. Which, depending upon the day, I've been like, all right, well, that's I'm okay with that now. But
Cut that. No, I'm just kidding.
I said, yeah, clip it. But you know, Elon Musk is talking about how AI within the next, could be wrong on this, 5 to 10 years, or 10 to 15, or 15 and 20 years, that basically it'll get it to a place where there will be a need for people to have, it's not universal basic income, but a source of income that is basically given to you by the government. So if it's enough income where it takes care of your basic needs, then people in an ideal world will have the ability to pursue the things that they were really meant and called to do. And if that happens, then maybe it'll create a better place for humanity as a whole. Um, but that it was in some talk that he did here recently. It was broadcasted on Sky News that,
Bro, that's interesting because it really sounds like I could be wrong, but it sounds like echoes of you know one world currency.
yeah,
Uh
yeah.
yeah, sounds like that might be what that could be. It's like
Because if
yeah,
AI eliminates all these jobs, you have this
yeah,
huge workforce that can't do anything.
yeah.
But the other side of it is, not only is it, so people look at from the side of it's limiting all these jobs. Well, if it's limiting all these jobs, then think about it. You no longer have the salary expense paying X amount of people a set amount of money. So now all this profit can be basically recirculated back into the economy.
But here's the deep thing. This is so deep because technology for centuries now has in the hands of the people, the the intellect, so to speak, that develop it. And there's many different technologies. It's food, it's industry, all kinds of technologies. Just improvements. But those technologies have always enhanced what individuals could do, but those individuals still held the power. What I'm seeing, and based on what you're saying, is we're getting so far advanced with AI that AI is going to basically end up usurping the power even of those who created and continue
yeah,
to enhance the technology, because it's going to be
yeah,
so big they're not really valuable anymore,
yeah.
because it's going to be so self-sustaining that they where they would pull the strings, it's not gonna even be necessary. And when you're talking about, like you said, like everybody just being, when we're talking about something that makes it so that everybody is just paid, a certain amount of money, and I think what's gonna happen is when AI does that, it's hard to even pay people different amounts of money. Like how do you
Mm,
even gauge that? Like Elon Musk can say, of course he's gonna have his money in different things. So that'll be fine for a while, but I don't know, maybe 40, 50 years down the line, how do you decipher when everything's changed so much, and even the way we spend money and all that's changed. It's almost like you really put everybody socially and economically on the same playing field,
mm.
because nothing you can bring to the table anymore is more valuable because you created something that does everything.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the where the other side of it is too is slowly but surely too. There's the financial systems are all they're all starting to kind of line up onto a similar uh, electronic based thing. Everything is
yeah.
electronic, but everything is going to eventually be. Uh, I think, I think it was someone from BlackRock. I'm not sure, but basically that the idea is tokenizing assets, basically making them electronically available on the blockchain. And
Mm,
so what that does is instead of just having the paper version of it and just storing the data electronically, just shifting all of it to electronic. So if it's all electronic, then basically the what eventually happens is that futuristic world where you're sending things to people electronically. You're paying
yeah,
people electronically, regardless of whether they use PayPal, Venmo, whatever. It's just all simultaneously going
yeah. So that's
electronically and instantly.
yeah.
Transactions are just flowing faster.
So that's like that makes it easy, like buying a home and things like that,
Yeah,
and asset. It's just
yeah,
like
yep,
everything now,
yep,
like a
yep.
game, like you said.
It's all
It's a
gamified. Yeah,
virtual. Yeah,
yeah. It's digitally gamified. I mean, it's the future of like the Matrix and Terminator. It's all these sci-fi type
yeah,
things that we all thought were just kind of so hard to realize, but they were getting closer and closer to that type of reality, and it's probably gonna with the advent of technology, it's gonna probably be within the next 20 years our world is going to look completely different than we thought it did, and it'll happen in ways that we can't even imagine, really, because I don't think anybody, you look at the Jetsons with the TV screens and people talking on the TV screens. I mean,
yeah.
that's happening. And so
It is.
the question is with the data is you see all these data centers being generated to process the data. They're going to have to find ways to power AI and all these things. So that you're looking at you know, trying to figure out how to use nuclear power. There's so many different things
Mm.
to keep everything running. But if you get it to a place where you're eliminating all these jobs, then you're going to have to find a way to sustain the people because there's so much money that's being generated from the loss
Yeah.
of jobs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a different world, you know, sooner rather than later. That's just why I
Yeah.
don't, can you imagine our kids how hard it is for them right now? Like when my kids get to high school, I I graduated in the late 90s. So I was still using books back then. That's
Right.
not going to be that way when my kids are in high school. It's going to be a huge learning curve for me.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's even like right now. Um, I look how at how Chat GPT has evolved over the last few years, like couple years, the things that they can do now
Hmm.
versus when it first came out, AI in general. But how students learn, now how they acquire information is more so about them knowing
Hmm.
what to put in things like Chat
Yeah.
GPT.
Yeah.
Whereas we had to know, we started off, you and I had to know how to go use
Research it.
yeah, go to a library and
Yeah.
use the,
Microfiche.
yeah, all that stuff. So, um, and then it was, at least it was Google, searching stuff in Google, man. This AI and all that stuff, even Google search today, which is AI based, makes Google of 12 years ago look, like the Stone Age, man. Because
Have you
you,
used you've used Gemini
yeah,
a
I
little
haven't.
bit?
I use it kind of. You know what? No, I don't really use it. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
I was about
It's
to,
different, isn't
that's
it?
well. So the thing is, I was about to say I use it because I see it all the time, but now I realize why I see it because it's up there in my
Yeah.
toolbar, at the top.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've used it.
Yeah, it's a little bit it's a little bit more like a chat GPT. Like when you swap it to Gemini, it it'll actually fill in the
Oh,
prompts and give
you
you
know
all
what?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do because doesn't it like if you do a regular Google search, it also says something like go deeper with AI
Yeah,
or
and then it'll
whatever, and
pull in
yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, say yeah, even I've started kind of using a little bit of AI too, and it's interesting how like so my mind's so used to Googling things that I used to just you key it in what you're looking to answer for. But understand that with any type of AI, ChatGPT, whatever, that you can just dump information in and it can analyze it and give you feedback on it. That's amazing to me that it does spits it out that quick. Or you can say, hey, can you
yeah.
make an image of this and give a brief description of it, what you want, and it'll just create that image. I mean, there's
Uh,
I
you know,
sound like an old dinosaur compared to what, because I don't know really what it can do.
you know what's almost more impressive? Not really. It's not more impressive to me than AI, but this really impressed me when it came out, and now to look at them, it's like mind blowing. But 3D printers, man.
Yeah,
Just think. I mean, you got
yeah,
something just sitting there in front of you
yeah,
creating this thing.
yeah. And
This
they
it's
they did that with a house too, where they 3D printed a house. I think they were trying that out in Texas, and I watched. I think it was on 60 Minutes or whatever. They gave a quick profile of a company that was 3D printing a house, and
crazy, man.
that's where the cost you can save a lot. But so a lot of your cost is based on the zoning and permitting and things like that, because the zoning and permitting will dictate how much they will allow on a lot size. But if they only allow so much space, then and they charge you so much for a lot, then your builder has to kind of factor in that cost and try to make the money back from the lot that they
Yeah.
buy. So if the cost of the build goes up, then the materials, the subs, and all that. So there's the profit margin for the builder is actually kind of a little bit smaller. So, but that's again, that's all due to inflation, why cost has been going up gradually over time. And so, these are the things that ultimately, at the end of the day, the word that we've kind of been dancing around, and why financial education in general is important, is affordability. Affordability, as we have gotten older, has been harder and harder. And so, if you got kids and you have your parents coming to live with you and kids, or just kids, or your parents, and life in general, the affordability of it is so much harder than it used to be. At least it feels that way.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, yeah, I can see that. I mean, and it's just crazy, man, because it happens gradually. It just kind of happens under your nose, but like you
Yeah,
said, I guess we feel it though. There's stressors and things that people feel, and if you don't stop and look at it, you won't even realize kind of the catalyst of those things. Like,
yeah,
you know, gas, whatever it is, food, groceries, all that kind of stuff going up. It affects, it affects various aspects of our lives, man. But anyway, I was gonna say something earlier about I wanted to talk real quick about that AI again, man. Actually, um, the ACT camp that I'm doing
yeah.
right now, the AI really has helped me create some resources that have allowed me to fulfill a vision I had for ACT prep years ago. So years ago, I had I already had the vision for how I wanted
The
students to be
format.
able to access certain study materials, and I had a vision for the regimen, the way that students could, say if I'm using Google Classroom, which I am, but go into Google Classroom, access these study materials, assess themselves, project their score, and it be this iterative process that makes studying simple. Well,
Hmm.
I already had that format, but the one thing that I struggled with was just getting enough material in the classroom where it's basically unlimited for a student. They could keep going through the process with new questions. Well, AI
AI will just,
help
yeah.
me do all that. And so now
Wow.
I'm able to have that format where students can come in and they just do unlimited and of course I curate that in Chat GPT, and I still have to manually come and dump that stuff after I curate it.
But that
But
saves a lot. That would have been a lot harder doing all the rest.
man,
Plus the
exactly.
manpower you would have had to
Exactly.
hire.
Exactly.
And again, what they say is AI is going to generate, for those that know how to use it properly, will generate more millionaires than in previous generations. It's like the advent of the internet, basically.
For sure,
Because
man.
yeah, yeah, and I can
So
see that.
yeah, for sure. So, the other day, Ashley wouldn't let me do this. I'm kind of glad she didn't, but I wouldn't have mind seeing it. But I was using one of those those AI platforms to create my avatar. And man, they make it's like really, accurate, pretty good. Some of them are better than others. And I was just just finishing up what I had to do mine, and she heard you give this platform authority or permission to use your name and likeness,
Likeness.
yeah, your likeness. And she was like, she waited for me to finish because I had to like record my voice saying all kind of stuff, and she waited for me to finish, and she was just like, no, 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 you are not allowing them to use them. Like, oh, but I'm like, I get like 10 minutes later, I was okay. I was like, you know what, I guess I don't want them to use it. But I was just thinking it's really cool that all the videos that I spend so long editing and stuff, all I had to do is input the text in there, and my avatar will say all that stuff, and it looks pretty darn good, especially for
Yeah.
people that don't know me. It
Right.
looks good, and I'm like, that's
Right.
how I can do my videos. And I'm sure one day I'm probably gonna be doing that, but right now she's not on board with it, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's well. That's the thing is like they. I've seen AI. Friend of mine showed me a video of an AI where it looks exactly like that person. It's
Yeah,
all the. I mean, it's not that person, but the words and stuff. I mean, it's whatever. It's all scripted and stuff.
yeah,
And you even see now with current videos on YouTube where they have to have this like this may be altered AI, and so I've watched videos where like I know that's not that person, but they use that person to highlight some news about a topic or whatever. And it's
yeah.
just, that's I was talking with someone the other day, and what's going to get harder and harder in the next 10 to 20, 30 years is to discern what is real,
Yeah,
or the truth of what's being said by people, you know,
this
information
is
in
true.
general. There's so much information that you just, even with AI helping you discern what is true, how do you know that it's true? Because AI can be influenced too.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's kind of like the opening. We've talked about this before. I think the opening to that Mission Impossible movie that came out a few years ago, a
yeah,
couple years ago,
yeah. Dead
with the
Reckoning.
submarine. Yeah, man, that was something serious. But I think even with those with these Instagram videos and things, how folks have altered that so much, you don't know which of those videos are real
Right.
unless you. Some of them you can look closely and see
Yeah,
something, and others you can't. And it's just
you
like you
can't.
think you're like, yeah, that's probably AI, but you don't know. And you
Right.
think about
That's why they
how
have to put that little stamp, like the Sora stamp on the SORA on that.
they're supposed to, and some people are gonna abuse that. And let's
Yeah,
think about it. That informs, how we see the world. It informs like it affects our emotions and all those things. So when you look at it like that, AI has the potential to really just shape our interactions, and that's crazy to think we can,
especially if
be
somebody controls it,
yeah, yeah,
or it eventually controls itself and decides that begins to look at humanity as what is the value of humanity.
yeah,
That's why it's important to program into AI. That's why you have so Terminator did there was an anime Terminator on Netflix where you remember Skynet. Well, there was a parallel storyline in which there was another AI. So this AI was battling, it was eventually going to battle Skynet. So you have to have more, you can't have just one AI. You have to have multiple AIs. Because if you
mm,
have one AI
yeah,
and it gets misinfluenced,
yeah,
then
yeah.
it can, but that's why you need at least another one
Like
alongside it.
CNN and like Fox and
Like
CNN
Fox and CNN.
or
Yeah.
MSNBC, kind of
But
the. Oh
isn't it
no, Fox
weird?
and MSNBC, and I think CNN. One of them is kind of like the middle ground. I forget which
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Isn't it
Anyway,
funny though that as humans we
yeah,
can't just have one source. We need, because we're everything is so fallen and broken. You
yeah,
need you need that. If you didn't know good from evil,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying. If you didn't know that there was a difference between good and evil, then
Right.
you would there would be nothing but that. And
Exactly.
that was that was the part of what God was doing.
Yeah. He
And
knew.
he
Oh,
knew
that's deep,
he
man.
in integrity. He
Yeah.
wanted to keep humanity whole.
He knew we'd all ride that gray area, doing what we wanted to do. If we didn't know, if
Right.
we didn't get to see it clearly.
But and
Yeah.
so when there was separation from the fall, God had to clearly outline this is good, this is evil. This is
Yeah.
don't eat from this tree because this tree I mean, the enemy wasn't lying. It would make you like God because you would see good and evil, but
Hmm.
humanity was not ready for that.
Yeah.
Not in
Yeah.
its state. And so, it's one of those things that we don't like. The reason why everything has to be so complex is because humanity is fallen.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's interesting since you bring that up about the good and evil. It's like Adam and Eve didn't need. That's the thing. They didn't need to know. They
No,
never had
they
to.
didn't
We
need to
never had
know
to be exposed to
because
good and evil.
they were a whole. They were
Exactly. They were whole. They were walking in truth. They were
right.
whole. And so, yeah, it's like you did trade. You traded that wholeness for now having to adjudicate.
Yeah,
Between having to figure out, okay, I can do this. I can't do that. And that's really no way to live. Like when we look at this fallen world,
yeah,
uh, we've us as believers, we're thank God where we try to live by the grace of God is in the wholeness, but we still have
right.
to deal with the good and evil, the knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah,
But we try to live in the wholeness, in the truth, in the light as much as possible.
I mean, you can't not deal with humanity because that's when the second you're born, you're born. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
because you're alive. I mean, you can't say, well, I'm not going to let my kids use AI. It's like it's around them.
yeah,
You can't let them not drive a car. Can't let,
yep,
not let them use a cell phone. But what you have to do is teach them that there is a line where it will harm you. And so that's why we're so strict, is to protect you.
yeah,
And I think if you keep it that's really that simple, especially when they get older and they understand like why I'm saying no. The reason why I'm saying no is because I don't want you to get hurt.
yeah. We gotta explain. That's the thing. We like you said. We if we explain it to our kids, that helps. I think a lot of times, in the business of the life and everything, maybe parents can miss the explanation. But yeah,
Yeah,
our kids need data too.
yeah.
They need data.
And they're wanting to experience it. They want to know it. They want to do it. And they just have to understand, like and the hard part of being a parent of younger children is you know that they can't comprehend when you tell them no. So
Hmm.
you have to physically pull them away from it or take it away from them, and then they get
Yeah,
upset. But you get in the habit of doing that. Think about it. You have to do that until they can actually start comprehending, which is not till maybe about 10, maybe. And even then, they don't have the emotional maturity to comprehend it until in their 20s, maybe.
right,
So
right,
it's I
exactly.
think so. I just have to keep it really simple and just say, I'm not telling you no because I'm trying to control you. I'm telling you no because I'm trying to protect you.
Yeah,
That's all it is. At the end of
yeah,
the day, that's all it is. I'm not it's not about me, it's about you. And you know, I know that it may seem that way, but it is about protecting you because we did so much to bring you here into this world, no matter how hard it is. We're trying to protect you from the world as much as possible.
right. And then to that point, the other side to that no, we know kids don't like how that
Yeah,
feels, but the counter to that is us taking those opportunities to show them love, affection,
yes.
things in genuine ways. Because I know, like, I'm supposed to correct my child. I'm not supposed. I'm supposed to help them. Guide them, and that correction doesn't feel good. So I have to have the other side. I have to
Yes.
have the love
Love.
and the
Yeah.
all of that. So both those things have to
Yeah.
be
Balance.
consistent. They're running
Yeah.
parallel to each
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
And you have to think outside the box to find ways to say yes to certain things.
Yeah,
Like to
exactly.
the amount of things that you're telling them no to, find things to say yes to.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
True that,
Yeah.
man.
It's hard.
So it is. It's tough. It's tough, man. So probably have to cut out here in a few minutes today just because I got to get ready for my 9 o'clock ACT
Yeah.
boot camp, man. I need to finish up some
God
stuff
be
for
with you.
that. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Do you have a minute, man? Just like I said, tune in just, to help our numbers, man. I like to see a few people in the audience.
Okay.
Even if you don't need ACT prep, but you could just have your name up there and you could be watching TV or something, or sleep
Okay.
for that matter.
Okay. Well,
So,
well, now that you put it that way, you might have an attendant. You may have one
thank
extra
you. I
attendant.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. I appreciate it. But yeah, man. So, so we're kicking off with science. I got a really great science teacher who does the science portion.
Mhm.
When me and Ashley used to run our own ACT camps, I covered science and math. Ashley covered English and reading. But you know, she's moved along, out of the classroom now, and she works with the state. So she doesn't really so much focus on this stuff because she's busy with that and finishing her
Right.
doctorate. But my science teacher, she's really good. I got a really good math teacher. Had an English teacher. She dropped because she just bought a home and she's really busy. But it's cool because again, what I've realized, what I realized, James, is so funny. Let me tell you the quick backstory. Quick backstory. Hold on one second.
Yep.
The backstory of all this is I was supposed to do an ACT camp for my nonprofit leading up to the October exam,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't do that because my advisor for my nonprofit said, "Hey, we need to get this board like set. We need to get this straight. So we need
Solidified.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, so we need to use the end of the year to do that. I think you shouldn't do any programs until you get that straight. So let's look at 2026 for that." I said, "Cool." So I didn't do it, but I had a couple parents signed up, so I reached out to them and I asked them if they would be interested in like a Zoom or something like that, just so I could help them, for the December test since we didn't do anything. And one parent said, "Yeah, I would love that." And so I started thinking about ways that I could help that student. I used to do one-on-one tutoring. I'm really not big on that because it just, if I'm gonna do that, it kind of I really have to spend time on that, and I want to tutor more
Yeah.
than one student because it takes so
Yeah.
much. So I was looking at just doing some Zooms or whatever. So I started kind of working on a model. I'm like, man, other kids. I was doing my research, and I was like, well, you got January college application and scholarship deadlines coming up. So a lot of students need to do better on this December exam. Why don't I do a boot camp? So that's where the idea came from. So here's what's interesting, and it really goes to like what we've talked about with business and entrepreneurship and how things evolve. Well, when I started off with the camp, when I started off marketing the camp, the focal point were the Zooms, and what was supplemental was Google Classroom and like college and career prep, like that I was saying, we would offer. Well, that business model really didn't work, especially in the small time frame I had, which is 4 days from lunch was the actual first session. So I only had
Oh,
four
wow.
days to market this whole thing, and a big part of that was I had to get Ashley on board, at least an agreement that we
Yeah.
were gonna do it. And so, uh, 4 days out, she at least said, "Hey, I'm not really for it, but if you prayed about it and want to do it, fine." That's what I got. So
Nah.
that's all I got, and I took it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I launched it, but wasn't getting any traction. People liked it, this and that, but parents weren't signing up. And so over the last week and a half or so, as I've gotten that gathered data, I realized Zoom should have never been the focal point because we had this tiered approach where Google Classroom access was like, well, at first it was $125 for this, basically a 3 4 week camp, which is really good if you compare it to anything else online. All those camps start like $500 and up, and I felt like ours was more personalized. So anyway, but so it's 125, and that just included all that Zoom, Google Classroom, college and
Wow.
career support. I know, but then I wasn't getting traction on that, so I said, okay, we're gonna tier it. If you want access to the Google Classroom, with the resources I was talking about, I said, okay, that's 25. If you want the like help with putting together a study plan, that's 75, and then 125 was like the no, I'm sorry, 75 was like the Zoom access, and then 125 was you get your own personal college and career prep coach. All right, cool, makes sense. Well, recently, from gathering the data, I realized actually the Zooms needed to be free because that was the way I needed to market it. That's
Mm,
how I needed to get the people in. And so today is really the first big experiment with that hypothesis. Like bring them in, Zoom, and which again I've been making these changes, so I really didn't get time to market it like this. I've only had
yeah.
like a day or two. That's why I'm texting friends and family, just being real, like, "Hey, y'all, yeah, come on in, join, and tell
Yeah.
anybody
Come
you
on
know."
in. Come on.
So, um, so the Zoom is free and still had the tiered approach, but the tier is the $25 for the Google Access, which honestly is what I want everybody to have. That's like
Yeah.
if nobody gets the other tiers, that's fine. I just want people to have that because I've got a video for how to use that, and I really think, man, what we have there can help students improve their scores substantially. So that the $25 is the Google Classroom and Zoom recordings. So any
Mm,
live Zooms you've missed or you miss, you can access them in a private Facebook group. That's the 25. Then the $75 one is the actual study plan. And literally, I had somebody sign up the other day, and I met with this child. She's 17. She's a senior for 30 minutes putting together a study plan for her. You
hmm.
know, we worked it out based on her schedule. She works, all that kind of stuff. And I sent her a very, very thorough plan based on her what she made on her subjects and what her goals were. That's only $75, man. That right there, to be honest, could be more. That personalized plan. Then the 125 is the college and career prep, and I've got a coach or two actually willing to help that I know, counselors and things like that, recruiters, college recruiters, which is that's my brother, and the counselor I know is a friend of the family, and so I got people to help with that, man.
That's
So
good.
yeah, man, that's
Huh.
that. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So
Well, God
and
be
that's
with
one
you.
on one. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off and get this stuff finalized for this morning session.
Well, may the joy of the Lord be with you.
Amen. Amen. May the joy of the Lord and the peace of God be with you too, my brother. And this was a
Uh,
good session, man. We back on it.
back on
Back in
it.
the saddle.
Back in
All
the
right, man.
saddle. All right, man.
All right.
Love you, buddy.
Love you, man.
All
All right. Catch
right.
you later. Bye.
Bye.